Well, good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's Last Post ceremony. My name's Richard Cruz, and joining us today from the Royal Australian Air Force is Warrant Officer Robert Swanwick, Warrant Officer of the Air Force. Today marks the 96th anniversary of the formation of the Royal Australian Air Force. We welcome the serving RAAF members that are joining us here today, and we thank them and those that have served before them for their service to the nation. We're also honoured to acknowledge Air Marshal Leo Davies, Chief of Air Force Australia, and Mrs Rhonda Davies, Mrs Lisa Swanwick, and Miss Pauline James, President, New South Wales RSL Women's Auxiliary, and Rhonda Van Zeller, New South Wales War Widows Guild. As always, but particularly today, we welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that support them. We acknowledge the members of RSL and Services Clubs Association, RSL Victoria and RSL Queensland, who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony across Australia. In particular, we welcome the members of the Ingleburn RSL who are joining us this evening. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection by visitors to the memorial. Could I ask you to please stand and join in singing the National Anthem? Australia's Federation Guard is a tri-service ceremonial unit of the Australian Defence Force. They provide a ceremonial presence at civil and military events and during visits to Australia by foreign dignitaries. The Guard will now dismount the catafalque party from the tomb of the unknown Australian soldier. invite anyone that's able, please be seated. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight we'll read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 102,000 Australians, men and women, who have given their lives for us in war and operations over more than a century. But first we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths and floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the pool of reflection.
Today, we paid tribute to Flight Sergeant Douglas Harvey. Douglas Venning Harvey was born on the 24th of September 1916, to Edward Venning Harvey and Ada Florence Harvey of Oberon, New South Wales. Growing up, the young Douglas Harvey attended Bathurst Primary School and then Bathurst High School. A keen sportsman, Harvey played cricket and football and represented Bathurst in the district football team. Harvey worked alongside his brother Ronald as a farmer and grazier at the property The Retreat in Oberon. After enlisting in the Royal Australian Air Force in December 1941, Harvey began training as an air gunner and wireless operator. On the 15th of January 1943, he left Australia for overseas service. As part of the Empire Air Training Scheme, Harvey was one of almost 27,500 Royal Australian Air Force pilots, navigators, wireless operators, gunners and engineers who, throughout the course of the war, joined squadrons based in Britain. After arriving in Britain, Harvey undertook further specialist training and on the 12th of November 1943 was posted to No. 166 Squadron, Royal Air Force. As part of RAF Bomber Command, No. 166 Squadron was equipped with 4-engine Avro Lancaster heavy bombers. On the 31st of March 1944, No. 166 Squadron was participating in a raid on the German city of Nuremberg. The Lancaster, in which Harvey was the wireless operator and air gunner, was attacked and shot down by an enemy fighter. It crashed at the aerodrome at Gießen, north of Frankfurt. Harvey, 4 of his British crewmates and a fellow Australian, Sergeant William Allen, were killed. Douglas Harvey was 27 years old. His body was never recovered, and today his name is commemorated upon the Air Force's memorial overlooking the River Thames, the Runnymede Memorial, which lists all British and Commonwealth airmen with no known grave. In a letter to Douglas Harvey's brother Ronald, the commander of No. 166 Squadron wrote, "Your brother was a most proficient member of a good crew, and his loss is deeply regretted. I would like you to know how greatly we all honour the sacrifice he has made so far from his home country in the service of the United Nations." Douglas Harvey's name is listed on the Roll of Honour on my left, among some 40,000 Australians who died while serving in the Second World War. His photograph is displayed today beside the pool of reflection. He is located in the back row, third from the left. This is but one of the many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Flight Sergeant Douglas Venning Harvey, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and in the hope of a better world.
Please stand for the reading of the Ode and the sounding of the last post.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them.
We will remember them.
Catapult party, breathe, hand, arms.
lest we forget.
Lest we forget.
Catapult party outwards. Turn. Catapult party quick arm.
We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there in the low scrub of Gallipoli and at Pozieres with his poor tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain, has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, that concludes this evening's last post ceremony. We thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial and wish you a very good evening. Thank you.